Sponsored by Les Boys Sports, number 5, Derek Shoppa. Also sponsored by Timberland Ford, number 6 is Sam Asner. Sponsored by Bourgeois Brunel Dumais and Boucher, number 7, Stéphane Tremblay. Sponsored by R&R Automotive, number 8, Paul Babin. Sponsored by John's Restaurant and Pizzeria, number 9, Sean McGaffrin. Sponsored by Subway, number 10 is Joe Terraschuk. He's sponsored by George F. Campbell Limited, number 12, Matt Gould. Sponsored by Spot Jets Northern Hotel, number 13, Sebastien Villeneuve. And sponsored by Norm's Towing, number 14, Dan Michaud. Trainer for the Kapuskasing Cruisers is Bert Mignot. And team manager is Andre Dupuis. Ladies and gentlemen, the Kapuskasing Cruisers. And now, ladies and gentlemen, please be prepared to applaud long and loud for players who played before contracts became into the millions. These players played hockey for the love of the game. They could always be counted on to make the big save or score the winning goal when the game was on the line. They are proud to support charities across Ontario, such as the Law Enforcement Torch Run for Special Olympics. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you hockey's greatest family, the NHL alumni! In net tonight is the winner of the MVP award in the Central League in 1971. He is a former Blue, Ranger, Scout, and Red Wing, number 1, Peter McDuffie. He's a former King, Maple Leaf, Blackhawk, and Devil. His biggest asset outside of his toughness is his tremendous team spirit on and off the ice. He's a great team player and always the biggest man on the club. Number 2, Dave Hutchison. He stood out as an imposing figure on the blue line for 11 years in the NHL. In 1989, he was proud to hoist the Stanley Cup. Number 3, Rick Natras. He's an offensive-minded defenseman who spent his years with the Toronto Maple Leafs and the Pittsburgh Penguins. Number 5, Greg Hoffman. "24 years ago, this player scored the overtime winner to win the Memorial Cup for the Peterborough Petes. He then went on to a successful career in Europe and in the NHL. Number 12, Bob Atwell. This right winger played over 700 games in the NHL and won a Stanley Cup in 1993 with the Montreal Canadiens. But you are going to remember him best for his 50-goal year as a Toronto Maple Leaf. Please welcome number 14, Gary Lehman. He's a former Boston Bruin who currently is the last in 1984. Ladies and gentlemen, the #1 center for many years in Toronto is number 18, Bill Derlego. Here's another hard-working, gritty role player, a two-way player who spent 8 NHL years with Washington, Toronto, and Buffalo, number 20, Lou Franciscetti. A smooth skating defenseman, he was a standout on the blue line for the Maple Leafs during the late 60s and early 70s. Number 21 is Mike Pellick. Ladies and gentlemen, this player was the captain of the two-time Memorial Cup champion Cornwall Royals in the early 80s. In the NHL, he played for both Montreal and Toronto, and he never failed to bring his A game. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome from Montreal, Quebec, number 25, Dan Daoud. Up next is a man who spent his years with the Flames, Capitals, and Kings. He was equally adept as either a defenseman or a forward. Number 26 is Ken Houston. At the tender age of 22, he became one of the youngest players in NHL history to wear the C on his sweater when he became captain of the Colorado Rockies. He later spent time with the Maple Leafs, Sabres, Penguins, Rangers, and Nordiques, and proudly wore Canada's colors on 3 occasions for the World Championships. From Earlton, Ontario, number 27, Wolf Payman. This player is an 8-year NHL pro who spent time with the Flames, Maple Leafs, Blackhawks, and Capitals, wearing number 28, Pat Ribble. And your special guest coach tonight for the NHL alumni is a former Flyer, Red Wing, Blackhawk, and North Star, one of the most competitive players of all time, John Mizza. But certainly not least, ladies and gentlemen, your special guest referee for our game is one of the most respected officials of all time, and yes, he does hold the record for never missing a single call. Ladies and gentlemen, please don't boo Ron Wicks. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, we ask that everybody please rise for the singing of Old Canada. Tonight performed by